Yo, what's crabbing in? Back with another episode of the Specktators podcast. I'm your host, Packy, alongside Q the Bars,
Yo.
Dirty Dags,
What up?
Young Moe-T.
It's good.
Dags out here trying to get a motherfucking sponsorship.
BK, please send us.
What type of meal did you get, Dax? What mood are you in?
Oh, yeah, that's
the
real.
fucking
Swole
go
meal.
fry. The go fry yourself meal.
The I'm sad meal.
The go fry yourself meal.
The get pumped meal.
Got a
Fun.
protein shaker full of wine.
Tight.
Wow.
Easy
Some
carrying.
new shit. That's better.
That's how you know we're in the future.
Yep.
What?
8-ounce pour
It's 3 more ounces than they recommend per glass.
per glass.
Well, they say a
The fuck is a
wine
glass?
pour. 5 ounces.
I didn't know that.
It is.
That's mad.
I thought it
little.
was 4. That's
It
why I
is.
did 8.
Has that? I feel like that they need to change that.
To
I
10.
feel like wine has become a bigger deal.
Yo, Sleeve
than
was
it
the
was.
wine guy.
Oh,
The
don't even get.
bottle at Denny.
But is
Get him
he,
started.
is he even a wine guy, or does he just,
He just drinks
drink
it.
the
Yeah.
fuck?
But he's
He knows
wine
about
for
it,
sure.
though, yeah.
Like,
But he like he does he like he know shit about it?
oh no, I don't think he's like a connoisseur.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like, let me pour
Just a
one.
heavy wine drinker. Right? Yeah. So you guys, one of the big topics you guys sent me was the Rolling Loud shit. And I got to be honest, I didn't know anything about it until today.
Right.
It was a
That's
fucking
all.
shootout.
Yeah, tell me what's been going on.
Yeah, Dax. Because I
I don't really know shit. I just saw like every literal like 10 minutes that was going on. They were like, this rapper gets in a shootout outside of the restaurant before his set. And this rapper got arrested for firearms and like this and that. And it was like NBA Youngboy, Kodak.
Did Young Boy's
His
girl
girl
get
got
hit?
shot or
Yeah.
something, but she's okay. But some innocent bystander got killed.
That's the one that sounded the most fucked up was the NBA Youngboy one.
Yeah. That was a big one, I think.
Like it sounded like an innocent woman got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little kid got grazed or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, apparently quite a few people got hit.
Bro, bullets have no
And then
names,
like
man.
something happened where people were like rushing out because they thought gunshots were going on
But they really weren't.
in the place, but I think that was a false alarm.
Yeah, because as soon as I looked it up just on Twitter before I actually got to like any articles or anything, that was what was floating around on Twitter were the shots at Rolling Loud real, like, because people
Yeah.
were rushing out, blah blah. But
Yeah.
it sounds like they weren't.
I mean, I'd rather
I yeah, I don't think
find out later. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they
I
were
don't know
real.
if
Yeah,
that's real.
Get the
Let's
fuck
stick
out
around.
Well, and so now, like, just before you guys got here, I was looking at it, and I guess Rolling Loud tweeted out something like, if you, I wish I would have pulled it up, but they were like, if you can't get past like the shit that happened this week, then, or the hiccups, I think they called them. Then don't bother coming back next year.
Okay.
This is hip hop or something like that.
Oh, tight. So
What?
that's
Eh,
great.
Yeah, and then
publicity
somebody
stunt.
like tweeted back about the death, and then they said like there, like ain't no deaths happen or something like that. And so it made me think. I was like, wait, okay, what? They're probably trying to like cover their ass, saying like nothing happened at our festival.
Yeah, that's
This all happened in Miami
Right.
around our festival, but nothing happened at our festival. Which like I get you doing as a business, as a festival, whatever, but you don't. It's kind of what we talked about with like not to draw comparisons to something that's not nearly as big of a deal, but when we talked about the Paul George Dame Lillard thing, maybe it was a bad shot, but you don't come out and say that after the game.
Right. Right.
Like, okay, maybe you're right. Like, this shit didn't happen at your festival. Like, you're not responsible for the shit that happened.
right.
But you don't come out and say, if you can't deal with the hiccups, then don't.
Yeah.
No.
This is hip hop.
Yeah. What?
Like,
And did it
okay.
happen or not? Was it a hiccup or not? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
so-
What hiccups are you referring to?
exactly the shooting that
Maybe
did-
they're just
Right.
referring to the whatever false alarm shooting.
Still, you don't say this is like
Agreed.
that's hip
Yeah,
hop.
this is hip hop is
yeah,
weird.
false shooting
No,
alarm. is
I-
hip hop.
I've been a hella hip hop shit and never had that shit.
Right.
Right.
What the
Like, what are you
fuck?
And I don't
talking
think
about?
anyone's
This is
being like, let's
stupid.
go to the hip hop show in town because maybe there'll be a shootout.
Yeah.
Like,
what the
Yo, that's what they
fuck?
were saying. Like, even in East, like
Jeez.
East Lansing, when we were trying to do shows here, they're like, "Oh no,
yeah, I know.
you know what happens at hip hop shows?"
I know.
Oh my god.
That's why we were. That's why we were some of the first motherfuckers to do shows
Yeah.
at some of those spots because they just said no to hip hop always.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big festival cat. Like I don't.
Me neither.
So I can't really speak to some of the in-depth things.
I did
going into
watch
detail in that. But
live stream of a few performances, and I didn't know who the fuck any of these people were, but just fucking bad.
really,
Yeah.
spitting
it
over the
was
tracks.
spitting over their tracks, and
That's the number one.
course.
No.
not even now, dude. I swear, I watched like two people. I like checked back in, and I was like, all right, and that was it though. But there was definitely a trend, and it was that their tracks are in the background, and they play like 40 seconds of their song, and their track plays in the background, and they're just trying to get the crowd hype. They're not even saying their lyrics at all now. You know, remember how like Waka Flocka used to be like, say the end of this line or whatever, at least say something like along
Yeah.
the song line. Now it's just like, I want you guys, when this hook comes on, I want you guys to go fucking crazy.
Yo, doesn't
And it's
don't
like
the
while their
DJs do
verse
that?
is
I was,
on in
yo,
the
I was
background.
just about to say they're basically just being DJs.
Yeah. I was
Except
like,
they get
this
to
is
take advantage
fucking
of their
horrible.
like celebrity and persona. Like I'm here in the flesh,
Oh God.
and I'm gonna play my hits.
That's just that's no fucking talent. Like the whole reason, like you made this song, that's talent.
Right.
You were an artist, whatever. No matter how like shitty your song is, that I think, whatever, you made it.
Yeah, if this many people fuck with it, I
Right.
can't
Like
shit
there's
on
something to it.
it. Yeah,
You have to be talented in other aspects of music,
yeah.
in my opinion, to
You would
be
think.
big. But you don't. Yeah, I
And
know.
you're gonna perform. I would
Right.
So
think you'd like
fucking
learn
annoying.
how to
Right.
perform.
That is what's crazy about like you. It's hard to blame anyone but just the artist because, dude, if that's what people are paying to see, what are you gonna not book these people if your festival's like this is what the kids want to go see?
No, yeah, I mean they gotta
But
book them. It's just it's
is it-
like why the
You'd
fuck?
think the artist would just take a little bit of like
Yeah.
pride.
Like, no kids want to see the artists rap their own shit.
right.
You know.
Not to
Is that where we're
mention,
at?
even more so, like I get it at a festival setting,
Mhm.
but these people you're picking to like bring on tour with you that do that shit,
Yeah,
why the fuck would you ever pick them?
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
We're living
Like,
in a different age.
yeah. We
I don't understand.
I ain't
that
hip
shit.
to the dip.
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, that's what the kids like. I
Back
guess.
in my day.
but to your point, I do think
Sing lyrics.
I do think the kids just like these artists, and these artists are choosing to do that shit.
Mhm.
If the artists chose to take pride in that aspect of their performance, the kids would fuck with it.
Yeah.
Probably, and half the kids probably don't even know like what a dope performance is.
That's what
'cause
I'm
so
saying.
many of these motherfuckers do that shit.
And I'm willing to give these guys passes as far as like there's some guys that just do these crazy performance, like they're all over the place. They're screaming, they're crowd surfing, doing all this like wild shit.
Yeah.
So you don't have to just be spitting every word of every song.
No.
Even
Right.
if you want to take full songs and just wild out and have your lyrics in, fine. But don't make that your set.
right.
Yeah.
That's my only beef. Like, do your thing. I'm not mad at it.
It's
but-
just like
Yo, at least
They're not even trying.
just do the end of the line.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, or have the song at the end of the line. You could do like the first couple words and
Yeah.
throw in it. It's like, man, I could just listen to the joint at home.
straight
real.
up.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would rather be at the show and the DJ just play the song
Yeah.
than have them screaming shit over the track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like the DJs, the mixtape DJs.
yeah, it's like
Khaled,
they're the
yo,
artist.
Khaled made it popping.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we might as well transition, huh?
Yeah. Assad, I love you.
I'm honestly, I'm looking forward to Khaled's album.
I am too.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Probably
no
gonna be
reason
fun.
he shouldn't at least have a few hits on each one of his
Yeah, he
albums.
always does.
Because he
and-
don't do shit as far as like performance.
And
So,
I
fuck
honestly
it.
feel like we just recently got a few, like we just got Schoolboy, which is one that, but overall for a few months, for a lot of 2019, really, unless I'm missing something, my top tier artists, like just that I consistently go to give me hits and shit like that, haven't really been dropping.
Mhm.
So I think all the more reason that I'm like, oh, Khaled's dropping something, like there's going to be some shit on there that I
Yeah.
can run back, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sure. Dude, I was thinking about this now. Like, Khaled's basically, and the DJs in general, are basically like the new now compilations. You know what I'm
now
saying?
45.
Like all
Yeah,
their
what are they on?
Dude, that's kind of true.
100 and something.
it's
That's
like
kind of true.
like jock jams and shit.
yeah.
I used
because
to have a Jock Jam
Kids
CD.
Bop.
Yeah, so did I. It's
I
just
can't
the
believe
same
they're still
thing.
releasing those things.
Yo, kids eat that
Now
shit.
it's on
now
like
that,
140.
now it's like all hip hop shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's so
Because
weird.
it's popular music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you see the kids in the commercials rapping these weird ass lyrics, like, this is weird, bro. This is weird. Doing all these, dude, I don't know. This is fucking crazy. I'm like, how old am I? Like that Arthur shit.
I didn't even look at I
Dude,
saw
I
that
saw
floating
that.
around, but
They're
what is
on-
it?
They have that many seasons for one.
Season-
That was the first
Season
thing.
22.
Yeah.
And
I
in
didn't
the
even
pre-
know they were still doing
They're
that.
I
still
didn't
making
either.
those.
And in the premiere, Mr. Ratburn gets married to a man.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019.
I thought Arthur had been done.
Yo,
I did too. I
yeah.
literally
I guess I had just been done watching it.
Is Wishbone still going? Yo,
Yeah,
bring
right?
back LeVar Burton reading Rainbow.
Arthur used to
We got
tell
LeVar
you.
Ball
Hell
now.
yeah.
Never lost. No, man. Have we heard anything? Because I think that's the big deal about Khaled's album right now. Like, he normally rolls out the big singles and the big videos,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have that shit. Have we heard? Has he given any hints of anything going on? I
No.
heard something about Cardi.
I saw
I heard shit.
I saw
Okay.
a ton of artists today, not a ton, but quite a few artists today promoting it. And
Gotta be on it.
and like artists that don't normally promote things. So I was kind of assuming that those artists are probably on it.
Mhm.
Anyone you were
Jeezy.
okay? So
And
you're
he
happy
never
about that.
Yeah.
Jeezy or G-Eazy?
Jeezy.
Okay.
Young,
Yes, there's a big difference.
Snow.
Not Snow White.
the abominable.
Both could be Jeezy.
And Meek, which I could see both of them being on.
I definitely could see,
Yeah.
or will.
Definitely Meek.
I'd be shocked if Meek wasn't
Yeah.
on there.
I'm trying to think of like artists that are for sure on that bitch. I would say Meek would be
Chance
one.
the Rapper.
Meek.
Chance the
Justin
Oh,
Bieber.
it-
They're
it-
all in
Rick
the same
Ross.
joint.
Rihanna,
Ross for
Yep.
sure.
Wayne.
Probably.
Wayne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Wayne's back.
Oh,
Probably
quick,
like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
quick jump back to that Rolling
Rihanna.
Loud shit. I first heard anything about any of this shit when the news broke that like Wayne wasn't it Rolling Loud that Wayne
Yeah.
said he's not gonna go because they were like insisting that the cops just be all on his dick,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna deal with this shit," and
What-
he didn't go.
Did he have a gun or something though? And they were like, "You can't have that," and he was like,
See, I didn't
"You
even
can't
I didn't
police-"
research it.
I
It
don't
was
know.
something that you, I mean, like, probably can't have.
right.
And they were like, "You can't have that," and he said, "You guys aren't gonna police me. I'm not performing."
Oh, okay. See, all I heard was like I got the vibe, and like I said, I didn't research.
I
it or
didn't
whatever,
research too
but
hard.
I got the vibe that they were just like, "Hey, before you can come out here, we're searching you, whatever." And he was like, "Nah, I'm not dealing with this."
I
That's
got,
all I heard.
I got the vibe. I guess we should look it up, but I just got the vibe that
We should pay a guy.
he said
Or
it was
not
just
pay
a
the guy.
being stubborn type of thing.
No,
He-
it was. I remember. I read the article, and that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Read it.
He was just like, "I'm not. If you guys are gonna do this, I'm not performing."
Yeah.
It wasn't even a like
And that
him
doesn't really
trying to
surprise
hide.
me.
It wasn't
Wayne-
even him trying to hide something. You know, like
and-
I got drugs in my butt.
right.
No, he's just like, no, get off my dick.
Yeah, I mean, the way that shit, the whole fucking festival went down was probably a good call.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit, I don't know.
Shit.
Sheesh.
Let's get to the real news, huh? Moe-T,
Real news.
give me a little.
Give me a little
Wait,
screen time.
oh yeah, give me a little screen time.
Exit Pornhub real quick. Okay. All right. Okay.
This motherfucker bought
Big ass plane.
his own plane.
Yes.
and it's huge.
I did.
It's
like a
gargantuan.
jumbo jet.
Air Drake.
I feel like that's fine. I'm not even gonna attempt to even start to hate on this man. That shit's fire as fuck. Air Drake just kind of seems a little weird.
It could have been a cooler name.
Much cooler. Even like Air Grams or some shit like that would have been hot. We moving grams, cuz we moving grams.
Air Aubrey.
That'd have been better. AA, like American Airlines. He could have just switched up the logo.
Dude,
Why don't I
that's
work for
so
his team?
big.
Dude, it's insane.
I'm like, okay,
It's like a
he's in the
hotel.
hotel, so is he gonna get to the plane? Oh,
Why are there like even seats like that on it? Like
you got a lot of homies.
you
Yo.
could probably only fly enough people not even to fill those out.
Well, good for class.
like I don't know for sure, but that shit is money.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
No, you gotta be
Like
wealthy.
there's people with loot that cannot and will not ever do that shit.
Well, also just won't do that.
Right.
Because
they won't even take private jets because the gas is stupid.
Bro, I heard that style
it takes
plane.
$150,000 to fill up. I heard.
I heard half that for one trip across, which they could both be true.
Yeah.
I heard like 70 to 80 grand to go from like New York to LA one time.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you Aubrey, fucky, cuz YOLO.
But like, dude, he's got money.
Nah, he got stupid.
70 to 80 grand for one trip across the country. That's
He's probably doing that like
and
daily.
I was about to say, it's not like an annual vacation.
Yo,
either.
that is.
He could buy like the dopest first. Like he could just rent a jet.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume for less than that.
Dude, I don't know. Like, he's got to have some plan. It can't. I doubt
he'll
it's.
probably rent it out to people.
Yeah, I doubt
give it
it's
to the
just,
Raptors or something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
or maybe
who
someone's
knows?
behind it. Like he had some deal worked out for something that makes sense to him. Is that just my headphones?
Yeah.
You guys can hear me just fine? Okay,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
shit's going in and out. He's got to have some type of deal worked out with some people because it's like, dude, for one guy to just do that shit.
Yeah.
But not one guy, the guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't afford it, but I'm saying,
Right.
is that smart?
No.
I don't. But who else is doing it though? Like
That's
Drake would do some shit that no one else is doing. Like
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
You know,
Yeah, and maybe it is just a stunt, but I feel like
definitely a stunt.
hell yeah.
when you do that type of thing, though, I'm sure there's hella ways he can parlay that into some money.
Yeah,
So
Probably.
he'll probably try to get some type of shit back on the back end. But that's nuts, bro.
that shit looks sweet though.
That's fucking crazy.
I hadn't seen the inside till just then. I just saw the outside.
I thought that was fake when I first saw it.
It looks like a hotel, like
Yeah.
like you go through the lobby, get on the elevator.
I think it was his Instagram story. It was like outside the plane, and it was
Yeah,
Air Drake, whatever.
that's what I
and I was
saw.
like, this isn't real. Like, no.
I knew it was real when they were peeling that bitch off. I'm like,
That's-
oh yeah, this is legit.
What do you think Drake's worth? I'm trying
You
to
could
look it
probably
up.
look that up.
What do you think? I just looked it up.
what is worth really mean?
Right.
I'm so bad.
Net worth.
I'm so bad at this shit.
Well, he
means
just bought a fucking
Your assets
however
minus your
many mil-
liabilities.
What's this plane? An asset or liability?
Right.
Well, if
Sound
you
like a
paid it
lot.
off,
Yeah,
it's
that's
an
real.
asset.
He plays straight cash.
I'm gonna
homie.
say like 650 million.
I'd say
That's a good guess.
550. Damn, that's a lot of money.
300
though.
million.
Yeah, wait.
No,
Because let me think about Jay-Z and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they're
Can't change it.
aren't
Tell
they a
us.
combined billion? I'm gonna say 275 million. Final answer, Bob.
140.
See, that doesn't even seem
I
like
win.
you're worth enough to buy that.
That's why I guessed higher than that is like
That's what I guess.
it's not like 100 and some million is something to sneeze at. But that's why I said this plane shit, that's money. Like,
dude. Like, let's say that I don't even have a clue how much that plane would cost, but let's say it costs like 40 million. I don't know. That doesn't seem like nuts.
bro, 20 trips back and forth across the country is $1 million, right? Am I doing that math right? If it's like 70 to 80,
Yeah,
you know,
not even
rough estimate, like 20
Like
trips back and
15.
forth. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's just
so
great.
if you spent, let's say you spent 40 million just on that, that only leaves you with 100 million, which isn't that much.
But that's like.
But I
what
know
you're like he's
that
getting
can't
money
be-
all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
he's
say,
flying
he's
this
gotta
thing.
have like 140
He's spending,
million
you know,
coming in.
$100K to go make $1 million. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I'm not questioning. I'm just like trying to put it together in
Yeah,
my head.
so,
Like,
I
what
don't
the fuck?
Well, and
Lifestyles of the rich and
Right.
famous.
did you see this tweet of about supporting my homegrown businesses?
I did.
Like,
There's
so
something
what's
going
the
on.
back
Yeah.
end?
There's
makes
some
sense.
Yeah.
there's some incentive.
right.
Yeah.
I would have to think. It isn't just like I decided
Well,
to go buy
that's
a
it
plane.
right there, isn't it? Had an opportunity came up to get involved with Cargo Jet, a great Canadian company. I was honored to do so.
Yeah.
So he probably
So they're like, look,
they probably gave him a deal on
we'll
the
get you
plane.
this plane. You just gotta,
You got to just
Do
show
whatever.
this bitch off.
yeah.
And now everyone's getting a Cargo Jet or whatever.
Because everybody's about to be like, yo, I'm about to get one.
Everybody's
Yeah.
getting.
I'm
a
getting
cargo
one. Fuck
jet.
that.
Every
You want to go
rapper
in
in
on
the
a cargo
game.
jet?
Yeah. Oh, wheelchair Jimmy ass motherfucker. I'm about to
About to
get
be
one.
so many leased cargo jets.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
Soldier
saying.
Boy,
People
the
drowning
Bow Wow
in payments.
challenge, bro.
Lil Pump's
Uber of
gonna
cargo jets.
Lil Pump's gonna have a cargo jet, and you're gonna be like, all right,
All right, bro.
They just giving these things. I'm about to look into this shit.
Air Harvard. Lil
Fuck.
Pump.
No, that shit's nuts though.
It's just fine.
He's got no excuses to not be anywhere now.
That's right.
Is
that it?
All right. I was very surprised when it dropped. Young Dags hit me up and said he was fucking with some of the Logic songs.
I heard 2 while I was golfing, and they're dope.
Because, and you would probably agree, I would never peg Dags as someone that would fuck with Logic's music.
Happily, not a Logic fan.
And I'm
illogical.
I had just recently listened to the album through, and you texted me that, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So which songs were there that you fucked with?
Icy and the one with, what's it called? Like Opportunities or something?
With G-Eazy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the only ones you've heard now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't dive deep into it. I just was listening to a playlist while I was out.
I kind of ran through it. I wasn't like focused on listening to it, but
you were like skip.
There was actually
skip.
There was 2 songs that I actually fucked with. It's funny that you said 2 because there were 2, and I don't remember what they were. But
Icy went hard. It was like a player song.
Was it the one with Will Smith that you fucked with?
Nah, man.
Oh, Will Smith was on it?
Yeah,
I
he
thought
had a
you
verse,
meant
bro.
he called the song Will Smith.
No.
Oh.
It reminded me
no.
of like some like Kids Bop now too.
Well, it has to, yeah.
Yeah, and I fuck with Will Smith. He's a GOAT. You know what I mean? But copyright worth it. Hey, summertime. Hey.
See, I can't handle
Express
the
your
fucking.
team.
I
Listen to
hate
your
the
parents.
like inspiring
Don't
stuff.
disrespect me.
And like
I hate the inspiring.
inspiring in like a
Smack
corny
beat.
way.
That's
Don't
what,
be afraid to be different,
dude.
Like that fucking beat wasn't that bad, but it's like, come on,
Yo,
dude. Can't you like think of a cooler way to fucking do it?
and the
That's
beat, I
what
hate
rap's
the beat.
about. It's
The
about
beat.
like being dope.
The beat sounds like it's set up for it to be like a corny ass fucking.
Yeah. Agree.
And
Like,
that's what, and that's the thing too, is like I know to a certain extent he embraced that. Like you get Will Smith and you do this like kind of old school style.
Because he
like,
talks about people he like put
yeah,
on in the game. I
get
understand
it in reference to this track, but I
Yeah.
do get you guys in the fact that Logic is kind of known to be that way.
Yeah.
And
So
I
crazy.
agree with you, and I think they were debating this on Everyday Struggle maybe. But like comparing a Logic who sells a lot of records, who has a lot of fans, to like a J. Cole and a Drake and those type of guys. And it's so hard to pinpoint why exactly he's not even in the conversation with them. And I think a lot of it is just to that point of like he has the skills.
I'll tell
Like
you why.
he can rap as far as like the skill of rapping.
Correct.
But he's not cool. He doesn't
Exactly.
he doesn't say things like it. Okay, a lot of people want to have a message of like don't be afraid to be different, whatever. That's a cool message, you know? And I don't want to just come at that song because I actually get the idea of that song. But in general, just using it as an example. Like I can't think of a Drake or J. Cole line specifically, but good rappers will be able to evoke that inspiration
That's what I
and
was just
emotion
saying. Yeah,
by
exactly.
saying something else.
100%.
And you know what? To each person, that could be different too. Like someone could look at something we might say is a cool line and be like, that's superficial and corny, or maybe not corny, but like that's shallow or something like that, and be like, Logic is actually spitting some like real and that's to each their own. That's music is subjective and shit.
Right.
But I'm with you guys on like I'd rather hear the just kind of like succinct, tweetable bar
Yeah.
and draw what I want from it.
Here's the thing. Is like picture yourself. I mean, we're 30 years old. I'm 30.
Not yet.
Whatever.
Not me either, boys.
I'm 30, so we're all 30.
Speak for yourselves.
This age and beyond. Like, I just can't really see myself, and this sounds shallow as fuck, but I can't really see myself sitting around listening to Logic. It makes me, like, that's just what it is. Like, I picture Logic fans as, like, high school kids. And, like, I'm sitting around listening to Drake and, like, can talk about, like, Drake, oh, that's dope, blah, blah. And I don't know, I can't pinpoint that, but it's, like, listening to, like, the pop station on the radio versus, like, streaming something on your phone.
See, but
And picking the music that you like.
I appreciate
enjoy
you saying
listening.
that because it's honest. And here's my thing with Logic though, and why I say like I liked Under Pressure, his first album.
That shit was fire.
Yeah, and to me, I agree. There wasn't there were still a few songs where I would go put on with anybody in the whatever. But at the same time, let me just finish real quick. Hold that thought.
Wait.
At the same time, he was the type of artist where I would put that album on like in my headphones and like before I go to bed and be like, the Logic album dropped and I want to listen to it. And I'd listen to the whole thing and it would be an experience and I would be like, that was dope.
When
like,
was that?
Right. I was younger.
Yeah.
But not like crazy younger. You know, it was probably.
I gotta say, like, he has songs that I like. Like,
And-
I just don't dismiss them. But like more often than not, for me, it's just like that. Like it's just fucking corny to me.
But and I could go back to Under Pressure and listen to it right now, and I would.
It's still dope.
Yeah, it's a good. But I'm glad you hit me up after that and said that about the couple songs you heard too, because first listen to me and right while I was listening to it, Apollo texts me and he's like something about this Logic album is Cheeks or whatever. Yeah. And then goes and tweets out that he doesn't know how
I don't know how
But my first reaction was, just lukewarm. Because, and I think I'm finally willing to just say this is how I feel about Logic now, is he just doesn't do it for me lyrically. Mm-hmm. I actually thought the beats and the mixes and
he's always got dope beats.
Yeah, like everything. And even more so than some of his other projects to me, this project was mixed like really well. There's, as far as the making of a song, they sounded really good. Yeah. All aspects of it. I just cannot, I don't feel his lyrics at all. Like I just don't, either I don't relate or they're just too like bubblegummy or whatever. And a lot of times I'd listen to his songs and he'd spit like kind of a legit verse. And he'd spit like kind of a legit verse. And then the whole second half of the song, it was like he's just coming off the top of the dome or something.
Bro, that is the thing. Where it's like, when you said you don't know if you can't relate to it, it feels like to me, and the reason I don't compare him to like a Cole or a Kendrick.
Top tier guys. Because
those dudes, to me, know exactly who the fuck they are. Mm. It seems like Logic has been trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how he wants to portray himself to the masses.
Although, because I've heard that from other people too, hasn't he kind of been who he is? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's always been like this.
But like,
and I think within his music, he just portrays, I think maybe a certain aspect of he hasn't been accepted by like hip hop for who he is, and he's constantly fighting that battle when maybe he shouldn't be. I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know who he is really, and you don't know who anybody really is, but it just seems like you can kind of see like Kendrick and Cole, they're themselves. You know, when you hear the music, it's like, oh yeah, that's some Cole shit. Cole has a way of delivering his methods. His bars are like much more simplified. Kendrick has his way where he'll whoop-de-whoop them, but they still seem just like super confident in themselves, and maybe it's because they've been accepted, but they just seem like they would be comfortable with themselves if they were accepted or not. Logic is kind of like you're saying, kind of fighting, like where it's like, this is who I am, like,
yeah.
And he kind of changes his music or like does it to appease a certain group of people.
Guess
like
I think he goes to the extreme.
But I guess the reason I defend that aspect is because I feel like that aspect is honest. Mm. I feel like it's honest. I feel like it does affect him that he's not accepted by that shit, and he wants to fight it. And even though we might not want to hear that shit, that is how he's feeling.
And that's the thing. He can honestly not know. You know,
right,
I don't know. He could really just not know how he wants to go about it. But I see what you're saying. But I don't know. It's hard for me to dismiss him just because I fuck with him. Like, that Under Pressure album is just fire.
Yeah, it's
just fire. Gang Related is still one of my favorite songs, just off the rip. But I don't know, man. It just, like you said, lyrically, most of the time it sounds like he's going off the dome. Most of the time, and I don't even like that.
Yeah,
because it sounds like it. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of my favorite aspects about hip hop is relating to lyrics. Like that, some of my favorite rappers are because I just love their lyricism.
Yeah,
and not the skill of lyricism, the actual what they're saying.
Yeah, we know you can rap if you're a rapper for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, it's always going to come across. So
exactly.
You don't need to like prove it.
Exactly.
And I guess that's how I feel though about like the truthfulness and how he is overall. Like, dude, I don't even really know how to describe this, but to me, it's just like, dude, none of us, if you really are yourself and everything like that, like it shouldn't, when you meet somebody, you should never have it feel like it's forced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That like, you can always kind of tell when somebody's really trying to just go overboard with expressing themselves and things like that. It doesn't change the fact that, yeah, it's truthful and everything like that. But there is such thing as like overboard expression. You know what I'm saying?
Too fucking hard.
Yeah. No, it is. And that's the thing. Like, I don't care if it's truthful or not. Like, that's kind of a turnoff to me when you have to like somehow prove to me that, and that you are who you are. Like, it should just come off naturally.
One of the aspects I don't like about the direction Logic has kind of gone recently is a lot of times, like, let's say Logic will say, you should love your girl. It's good to love your girl. Instead of talking about him loving his girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just tell me. I'll draw.
Like Ray Lewis, bro.
Yeah.
He just fucking always
It's preaching.
It's preaching. Like, stop it.
Yeah. It's like, don't
God.
tell me what, like, and I think that's what people make fun of, the peace, love, and positivity. Like, don't keep saying that. Tell us about your life and how peace and positivity and love play a role and like how they apply. And we will draw that out from you.
Right.
Exactly.
But stop just saying it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like he's kind of, and part of it is he's put out a ton of shit. And I know, like, the more shit you put out, the harder it is to talk about. Like, everyone always says, your first album's the easiest to write. Because you get to talk about, if you make your first album when you're 20, you have 20 years of shit to talk about. Then you make your next album when you're 21, and it's like you have 1 year to draw on. And he's put out a lot of shit. So I get that it's difficult, but it doesn't change the fact that we have to receive the shit how we receive it.
Because how many artists put out a lot of shit? A lot of people.
Yeah.
Not like a lot of people, but there are a few people.
I do think that's part of the reason the top tier guys don't put out a lot of shit though. Yeah. Like, you don't get a lot from J. Cole. You don't get a lot from Kendrick. You don't like, you might get some feature verses from Drake and Kendrick. I think they're more choosy
about what they're putting
they understand
out,
oversaturation.
Yeah,
they understand when it's too much. It's like Future. Future had a period where he was dropping albums every week, and then it's like everyone's fucking with it for a while. Then it's like, okay,
and
this all
they
kind of
know
sounds the
that
same.
like they're fucking huge artists. They don't need to do that. Like, it doesn't matter when they drop. They could wait 10 years, and people will be like, oh. Yeah. That new Drake hasn't put out shit in 10 years. Right. Or he could drop in a week and they're going to be like, oh, Drake's working harder than anybody in the industry, putting out an album every week.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, Logic's putting out a ton of shit, and I'm sure he's reaping the benefits in his pockets.
Definitely.
Whereas if he waited a bunch, he might not make quite as much money on that shit, but the art maybe would.
I believe that Logic's probably a very smart individual, and he knows exactly what he's doing in terms of making a living off his music. As far as that goes, like, I don't think he's probably trying anything for publicity as far as releasing a lot of music or whatever. Like, he just probably likes making music.
Yeah.
And that's good. And like, for how much shit he's put out, he's got songs that like everyone likes, at least a few of his songs probably.
Yeah.
You know? But it's just like, you have to sift through all the corny soft shit to get to like the songs you like, in my opinion. And other people that probably are really fans of Logic are like, I'm skipping these fucking dope ass songs because that's not their style. You know what I'm saying?
Ahead.
How many? And it's like beats, like picking beats. How many corny shits can you hear from one person before you're like, okay, maybe they just
go to a different producer?
Maybe they just aren't doing it for me.
Yeah.
But what I do understand about Logic, or me about Logic, I don't have to fuck with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he's at a different point in his life. I'm at a different point in my life. Maybe it's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's for a fuck ton of people.
Yeah.
Although I will say this last project, I didn't see like a shit ton of like the people I know are Logic fans, like through and through. They weren't like, wow.
Yeah. I honestly, like, at least on my timeline, I thought it got, for as much as we're talking about Logic from the whole perspective, I didn't think this album was as bad as my timeline thought it was. Like, mainly because
that's probably why I thought some of the songs were tight on it.
Yeah, mainly because
You know what I'm saying?
I thought the beats were really good, and I thought, like, the mixes, like everything about the records other than the actual lyrics themselves, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
But the lyrics themselves are a big.
And that's
Dude,
a problem.
that was the thing with me is I didn't think it was that bad. But I did get what people were saying as far as like just the content. Like it was just kind of like a hodgepodge, whatever album,
like a mixtape.
Yeah, almost. It gave me that kind of feel of I just piecemealed lots of shit together and made an album. Like
yeah,
which I don't even really mind. Like.
I don't either anymore, dude. I'm like, I know you're probably all into it because you're like the fucking deep guy.
Am I?
Yeah,
like,
I'm the deep guy.
You know, but like, I don't really give a shit if an album is like cohesive and it goes together well. Like, put bangers on that shit that I'm gonna listen to.
Yeah.
I don't care if they go back to back into each other. Good.
I don't require that, but I appreciate that, like a Kendrick joint. But for instance, Schoolboy Q to me, that album wasn't like something that you had to listen straight through.
No, not at all.
You know, so
I think it's the artist too. Like
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q isn't that type of artist.
J. Cole, like those
J.
guys,
Cole and
the
Kendrick
deep
are
thinkers.
honestly. I don't think Drake is really that type of artist. He could be. He could make an album like that, but you could just get an album of bangers.
He had
Drake.
the Nothing Was the Same. I thought was kind of like that as far as the beats transitioning
I thought
to each other.
I thought that was the
Yeah, I
closest
think
Drake
you're
has
right.
come.
but
to
not necessarily like a storybook or something.
And I thought Views. I haven't heard it in
That
a
kinda
while, but
seemed
I
a
thought
little
that was kind of just like
Random.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
I'm sure there were a
super
few
random,
things like he always tries to put a couple songs together or something like that.
Right, and
but
that's the
overall-
thing. Like, if you have your track list, like, yes, organize it so it's
Well,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
banger, slow song, okay song, bang. You know what I mean? But like, I don't care if like it's one big story or some shit. Like, and you don't need like skits to prove that or something. Like,
Yeah.
I like Cuddy's album, and that was kind of story. The Old Man on the Moon.
Yeah, that was very story.
You know, and
super.
like, so I like some of them, but I feel like you can miss a lot easier
True.
by trying to do that instead of just putting dope music on your album.
Right.
If that ain't you, man, don't even try it.
Right.
Right.
I
yeah.
don't want
If
to
you
say
don't
don't
have
try it, but like, because you can try it.
You can
know,
try it, but
just know
more
your
than,
lane.
More than likely, it's going to be judged.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
I
pretty
think, and I
harshly.
can speak from experience. I think artists themselves put way too much stock in it when the fan
Hell yeah.
doesn't really.
Right.
Like,
I think
if
artists
your
put
shit's hot, people are gonna fuck with it.
I think artists put a lot of stock in a lot of shit that the fans don't give,
Yeah.
which I get.
which is
because
half the
it's-
reason they're artists.
Exactly, it's part of your craft, and I totally understand that. So I don't hate on it, and I don't blame any artist for doing that. But if I were to go back and start making music again, like, I'm just putting out 9 fucking of the dopest songs that I made out of the 15,
Instead of being like,
instead of being like, well, the girls need this one, and the fucking guys need this one, and the club needs this one, and the smokers need, like, I don't give a fuck, bro.
I think like personally for me too, at least just in my music making and what I expect from certain artists that I like who are lyrical and like can be deep or whatever. Like
Lyrical miracles.
this day and age, like what I've been doing for a long time now is I'll kind of put a few songs to the side for I expect certain things from an album.
Yeah.
But you have this day and age with the streaming and stuff, dude, let some singles go.
yeah,
Like, and that's what I've kind of been doing. And you put other songs to the side that, cause I do. And I hear you on what you're saying with gimme hits. I'm not against it, but I do personally like appreciate an album with album cuts.
If
Like
it's
stuff
good.
that's not, yeah, but I mean like good to, it's subjective because you know albums where you might love a song on there, but it's not a popular one. And so it's like, it's easy to say if it's good, but it might be something that might not be good to you. Might be good to
for
somebody
sure.
else.
I get that.
But it's the album cuts, like the fillers, but some people love them. You know what I'm saying? If they're mixed in enough, like if you give me 10 tracks on an album and 5 of them are bangers and 5 of them are album cuts, like filler type stuff, to what a consumer would call filler.
yeah.
I'm cool with that,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
But are you like, I get that, but are you capitalizing on that as the artist?
I think you are because I think if you put out an album with 10 bangers, I don't think you can promote 10 bangers properly. Like, I think you can only push so many songs at one time, like to radio, to all this shit. So promoting, like, as much as, I don't think it's bad to do.
Right.
Like, you can never have too many
as far,
bangers.
as far as your fans go, like your core fans.
Yeah, and like,
Because that's the thing. Your fans are going to appreciate anything that you give them, and they're going to appreciate you even more for the 10 bangers, of course. But, like, if we're talking about marketing and reaching new people,
You're better off saving those other 5 for the
Right.
next album or
Yeah,
for
I
singles
get that.
afterward or whatever. I feel like.
I
but-
think it's just that's why I like the small albums now, honestly.
yeah,
Because like release 6 bangers
Yeah.
and save your whatever deep cuts or whatever the fuck you want to call them for like something else. I don't
Save
know
your bitching and moaning.
for an album
Deep
that's like
cuts.
12 songs.
I disagree. But teach their own. I like those tracks on an album.
I just said that.
Oh.
Put those on something that's longer, like
Oh, okay.
12 songs or whatever, 15 songs or something, so that I can just skip them and not feel like I actually got good,
Yeah.
dope music in there.
So
You
you're
know,
saying
but
if for the
you
short ones,
release,
you want
like-
the bangers.
Yeah. Like if you release an 8 song, which is like nowadays like anywhere between like a lot and a little, whatever,
Yeah.
and they're in like 3 of them or 4 of them are those type of songs, and 3 or 4 of them are bangers, then I'm like, we waited for like this shit, and you're a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do it on a 12 to 15 song album, then you can forgive it because it's like, oh, okay, they put out a lot of
yeah.
quality music
Yeah.
with this as well.
What do you think a good length album is these days? Album, not like what you're talking about. How people are
Right.
cutting that line, like
Right.
an album.
I think 12 is a
I think 12
solid
is too.
fucking
I think
number.
10.
Really?
Yeah.
10 10 feels just on that line of like
Agreed.
right,
short.
yeah, like a mixtape or an EP or something like that.
Agreed.
When I think of like Daytona, that was 7, and that felt like an EP. But if it was, I feel like 7 to 10 is like EP. 11, anything over 10 to me feels like it could be an album.
I just feel like 12 used to be my number,
Yeah,
and I just feel like the more all this shit's gone, I've lowered it a little.
I
it's
just think that's an interesting one because it's more like the amount of time it takes you to put it out. If you haven't put out an album in 2 years or a year,
Then
even,
give me more than 8
and you
tracks.
put 10 tracks on it, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed because it's
But-
like that seems so.
but then
short. It's like
okay,
30
what if
minutes.
you have 12 tracks on it, but they're like 2 minutes?
Right. It's a yeah.
You know, so I don't.
I would still rather have that because it just gives you more variety.
Well, and
So-
like it depends on is the artist like do they disappear and then come back with an album, or
Right.
are they still putting music out? and
That's what
giving
I
you an
mean. Like if
album,
you put out an 8-track album and it's in the midst of
dropping a bunch of other shit.
dropping, 3-song EPs or singles or whatever that aren't on the album, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially if you put out a 10-song album and I've heard 2 of them or 3 of them already.
That's a big thing, and half the time it'd be them joints from like a year ago.
Right.
It's like, bro,
They've been on the radio for like they're off the radio by now.
That's real. But you got to do it to get your streams up.
do you when you go to an album, do you base it off of like not based off of, but like on Spotify? I'm not sure how they do it on Apple Music or Tidal or anything like that, but it'll say how many tracks and then how many minutes.
Mhm.
Which one of those matters more to you?
To be honest, I don't look at the minutes, but I should.
That's exactly what I was just
I look at
thinking.
the tracks.
I kind of glance over
Like
it, but
Logic's was 16, and I
Right
was
tracks.
intimidated. Like I honestly, I was like, "This is gonna be. I gotta actually
Yeah.
like sit down and listen to this."
I
shit.
agree.
And that's
I said
kind
the
of
same
why
thing to me.
that's kind of why I like the shorter stuff now. It's because I like the idea of being able to be like, "Hey, if I got in my car on a half-hour drive, I could
Right.
listen to this album
Mhm.
or something like that." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that's just me. Like I definitely get the people that are like, "No, I like this artist. He gave me 16 tracks. Like, take me on a journey." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm cool with that, but that's
Well,
just me.
That's music though. There's a time and a place for everything, and that's
Yeah.
why it's cool, and that's why I tend to like just bangers because like I'm listening to them while I'm doing things.
Yeah,
I
it's like a
don't. I
shorter
very
span.
rarely anymore will sit down and just like concentrate on a project or something, and I know people love doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
I-
sure
it
a lot
gotta
of
be
these
the
albums
right
going
one.
off. Right.
It got to be the
You're
right
more
one.
of a gym, like you listen to music in the gym.
That's
Right.
mainly where I listen to
So
music.
that makes
to,
sense why
honestly.
you need bangers.
That's
Right,
why you like
exactly.
Jay-Z and Schoolboy and
Right.
Ace
Yeah,
Hood.
that's why you like G-Eazy and you like
Yeah.
everyone else.
Logic is he's gonna go on tour. We got Jid.
Bro, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go just for Jitty G.
You're gonna have to get you're gonna have to have subtitles for that
Damn it.
tour.
Nah, I mean,
Who's the third artist?
I never heard of him till Logic's album because he's featured on it. YBN Corday.
Yeah, I don't.
that was the
I
dude
don't
that
know.
did
I've
the
heard some of
J.
his shitties or whatever.
That was that's the light skinned dude who did the
Yeah.
J. Cole when J. Cole did what song did he do? And he like remixed it. Oh, when he did God damn it.
I know he was on the freshman list.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's whatever.
He did like a response track to J. Cole, kind of like he just kind of remixed it.
He was all right on Logic shit.
No, he's cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was a tweet that came out. That's really pissing me off. I cannot remember. Somebody retweeted it or something, and it said it was something about JID. I don't fucking know. I shouldn't even say it. I'm not even gonna start a rumor.
Exhilarating.
I heard JID said.
It was some person, basically, it sounded like just making up some shit that JID didn't fuck with Logic, and I was like, they're literally going on to it together.
Yeah. I think it was 1985. I think he did a young man's, like how it was like a little pump diss or whatever, so he was like, did a remix and called it like old niggas or some shit like that. Okay. Like, bro, I didn't even listen to it. I'm like,
I did see Russ tweeted something. I think it was when Homicide came out.
But Russ been tweeting like a most.
Russ, he tweeted something about like Logic murked this shit, and Logic was like, "Good luck, man," blah blah, and Russ was like, "Yeah, real record, whatever." And before that, I thought Russ didn't fuck with Logic.
Yeah,
I fuck with Russ.
I think someone even said that, and Russ was just like, I think he responded just with like, "I can appreciate like good shit is good shit," but it also made me think like, Russ, if you don't fuck with Logic, you didn't hear his Homicide verse and think that's dope. Like you got some other motives there.
Exactly.
You're just trying to get in good.
Like, bro, tour?
Yeah,
Tour, bro?
I'm not saying you can't have that opinion.
No,
I'm saying
but
if you didn't fuck with Logic, that
Yeah.
verse didn't change your mind.
Absolutely not. Better.
You better
Quit
shut
being
that.
so popular.
Better shut that.
Fucking Apollo better quit walking in and out of the front door.
Yo, shout out to the super chat from Shad.
Yeah, what's poppin', boy?
He says, "Here's $10 to see 4 dudes have a debate on abortion laws being put into place."
Oh, hell no.
Since I know that won't happen,
Take
and
your
my
shit.
popcorn has now gone to waste, here's $10 for the mic stand.
You can take
Good
that
shit,
$10 back.
Nah, we'll keep it for the mic stand. Good luck.
But the NBA lottery.
Yo, does YouTube take fucking 30%? Did I hear that over the weekend?
I think.
Of the super chat?
chats, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yep.
Where'd you find them?
Where the
shits?
fuck
Thanks for
you
the
find
$7, bro.
Good look, cuz. Appreciate y'all.
YouTube says thank you as well for the 3. We were after our softball game. We went to the fair.
How'd
And,
the game go?
we had doubleheader. We split. But the NBA lottery was on, and the sound wasn't on.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of like a little bit lost on what was going on
Yeah, you need
and
to
why
hear
they
it.
were doing it. Do you guys know how the lottery works?
Not anymore, no.
Because I've fucking had no clue. And today I literally watched like a 10-minute YouTube video. I think it was it happens. I think it happens like, or we maybe missed it. Something happens, and then the actual ESPN broadcast happens. And I don't know if they broadcasted this or we missed it, but I watched it for like 12 minutes, the whole thing, and I still was like, wait, so what? And I watched it. I went back and watched it again, and I was like, okay, it finally clicked.
Okay.
So
Explain.
yeah. So they have 14 ping pong balls, numbered 1 through 14,
Okay.
and every team in the lottery has a 4-digit combo assigned to, like, I think they said there was 1,001. They draw 4 balls out of there. Okay. And every team has there's 1,001 combos that could possibly be drawn out of that thing.
Like some like regular lottery type shit.
Yeah,
like Powerball.
exactly. It's way more like that. And so every team, based on your chances, like, so the teams that had the top chances had like 14%.
Mm-hmm.
There were 3 of them, and so they had the most combos.
Okay.
And then the next down had the most. So then they draw the 4 ping pong balls out, and whatever that combo is, they see what team it's assigned to, and that team gets the pick. And so first one they drew out was New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was Memphis. And if you draw a team twice, because they drew Memphis twice, they just put it back in and redo it. And so only the first 4 teams do this. So only the first 4 picks do it that way. And then everything else goes in order of your record. So that's why then they go do it on TV and they go in reverse order, and as soon as you see a team pop up that's out of order, like, oh, they shouldn't have been there, then you know the team that should have been there got in the top 4. So that's why if you missed your spot, you were celebrating or whatever because you got in the top 4. Because I had no idea while I was watching that shit.
All I knew was they're like, this is great to get rid of tanking.
I think it is.
I agree. I didn't.
It
I'm
is.
like.
I was just about to say Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Tweeted.
Hell yeah.
Pretty much. He said, "We just witnessed the end of tanking, and we should be happy about it."
I am.
I am.
Yeah.
You're the tank master, bro.
Of course.
You
of
fucking
course.
love tanking.
When the rules are in
when
place
the
to
rules
reward
apply.
tanking,
It's like flopping in soccer.
I'm pro winning, bro. Like,
of course you're gonna vote to get rid of it.
Yeah, if the rules facilitate tanking to make your team better, then I'm gonna try to tank. If
I'm not watching soccer being like, don't take away flopping.
But yeah,
I am. Fuck
but
that.
yeah, now when
James
you
Hart.
Flopping. You want flopping in soccer?
No, I'm saying I'm not watching it saying that I want it.
Oh,
Like,
gotcha.
don't take it away.
Gotcha,
I'm not
gotcha.
watching that. Like,
but yeah, now
no one's
with
voting for that.
none of the top
They
3
should.
teams with the top chances got a top
Right.
4 pick.
Yep.
So I do think it's a bad strategy now to be like, I'm gonna be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, although
shame.
the only thing is, the good strategy probably is don't be the fucking Pistons and squeak into the playoffs,
Bro.
squeak out of the playoffs, because then
You have
get
a
a
chance
chance at the lottery.
The Lakers for
Yeah,
fucking perfect.
I knew there'd be a good way to facilitate losing.
You're fucking losing.
Damn, son.
Dude, it was way more exciting to watch that lottery on mute last night than it was to watch the Pistons in the playoffs this year.
Facts. I didn't even watch it on mute, but I know it's a fact.
Anything? Any hot takes on the NBA playoffs so far?
Is Steph Curry overrated?
No.
No.
All right. Moving on.
He is very properly rated as the best point guard in the league.
Bro, what do you think about the everyone's talking about the pick and roll defense, how terrible it was.
For the Blazers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Whoa.
I didn't know this.
They were giving
I
him,
didn't watch the end.
I watched the second half.
their strategy. I don't know if it was a strategy because I guess it was kind of. I don't know because their coach afterwards was like, "Well, did Houston trap? Did he score 30?"
They were asked. He was asked about. So Houston trapped and blah 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 blah, and his response was basically like, "Is that what they were doing in the second half of Game 6?"
Yeah,
and
did
they were
it
like,
work?
"Yeah," and he was like, "Does that work?"
Yeah. Well, I'll give.
He was like, "Oh yeah."
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
but-
I thought. But yeah, I agree. I agree with him there, but I also am like, you got to do something.
So on the pick and roll, the fucking big dude, it was Canner most of the time. He would literally just sit in the paint as if
They
Steph
never
was going
stepped
to
up.
drive to the rim. He wouldn't step up to the 3-point line. And Steph had 7 uncontested threes.
Yeah.
And had 9 total. Like,
Wrong, man.
who the fuck are
Yeah,
you?
you don't do that with Steph.
What you doing?
They're gonna have a heyday if that's how they play it. But I do think the Warriors are, and this is no shot at like KD. They're better with KD. I'm not.
They're more
saying
fun
that.
to watch
They're more
without
fun to
him.
watch without KD
100%.
for sure. Like those having Clay and Steph just hoist, and Draymond is more like Draymond when
Yeah.
KD's not out there.
I had something to say. And
Like,
I
he's
thought
about
you
to
had to shit his
shit. I
pants.
literally was like, he's about to shit his pants right now.
Damn it. I don't know.
Giannis, you guys better not ever fucking get baked before the pot, forgetting everything.
Man,
Okay.
allegedly. Fucking allegedly. It was a pinner. Jeez.
Bucks Portland final would be. I'd watch all of that.
I don't know.
And
I like the
actually,
Blazers, but
I
don't
wouldn't
want-
mind any of them actually. Like, but that's the one I'd want.
I think Portland is the only team I don't want to see in the final.
I don't want to see Portland in the finals just off. I think Bucks Warriors would be really fun to watch.
It would.
I think
Raptors Warriors would be fun to watch too.
Raptors are probably my least favorite team left, and that doesn't mean
Really?
I don't like them. They're
Kyle
just
Lowry, where is he?
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely the Kawhi show over there, but
Bro, that shot was so
they're
fire.
dope. I think Bucks Raptors is going to be a dope series.
Yeah, I think so too.
but I think
That's tonight, right?
yeah,
hmm
yep.
Is TV on? The fuck?
I was gonna ask you guys, are we done with the NBA?
Yeah, we can be done if you want to be done.
I don't care, but I was gonna bring up the whole Tiger John Daly situation.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I forgot
Thoughts
what
on
that
that?
was.
Were they getting drunk? or
You brought
something?
that up
What
last
do you
night,
mean?
but say what it was again.
So John Daly got granted a cart for the PGA this weekend.
Okay.
because he has a knee injury.
Mm.
And he said he can play, and he said I could play like 6 holes, and then it gets bad if I'm walking. It gets like really difficult to play.
Mm.
And so, of course, at the pressers and all this shit that's going on right now, these media people are like, what do you think of asking Tiger, what do you think of John Daly getting to use a card or whatever? And he's like, like this was actually what he did. He went, I played with a broken leg. And that was it. And that was like the end of the conversation. And like everybody, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, that's, you know, badass, like whatever. I got like mixed feelings with that because I like to say that shit like that a lot too to like my friends and stuff, you know, but I wouldn't do it at a press conference for one.
I had 33 surgeries, little bitch.
Right. Which I mean,
yeah, my leg hurts too.
I do that a lot. But like I said, like anyway. So first of all,
Hypocrite.
John Daly is not in contention. He is not even like the 110th pick to win this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even doing good on the Champions Tour, which is the 50 and over PGA Tour right now. And Tiger just won a major after a fucking slump that was as long as anybody ever, pretty much. You know, and he battled through injury. And it's not like he was like balling while he was injured and going through these things. So I just thought it was kind of weird that he would go on into a press conference and say some shit like that. Like I get saying it to your friends or whatever. You're like, you know, like, fuck John Daly. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're doing it at a press conference. I thought it was kind of weird. It's just like, if that's going to help you get through the tournament, do it, bro. You're not going to win. I'm going to kill you still.
You brought that up last night, and I think that was basically my response was like, I don't agree or disagree with Tiger, but I definitely don't understand why he would feel. It's a very easy question to just be like, you know, it is what it is. He can do it. You know, they said he can do it. Cool.
Mm.
Like it doesn't affect you in any type of way.
Exactly.
So I don't get why you gotta. And John Daly's got a lot of fans out there.
A lot.
Oh hell yeah!
Not like Tiger needs them,
bro.
but you still wouldn't want to like.
To me, Tiger kind of just gives me like the Michael Jordan vibes, where it's kind of like, not like fuck everybody else, but kind of like fuck everybody else, where it's like, I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, I played on a broken leg, and although he didn't ball out, I was walking. You know what I'm saying? He's like, everyone that is, I'm sure a lot of people are hurt legs and shit, and I'm sure it hurts them after a while. You know, you're walking all fucking day, swinging the club. I don't golf, but I know it's taxing.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, he can't be the only one.
So John Daly's obviously he's on the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
Do you know how old he is?
I don't.
I guess it doesn't really matter for my point.
Like, what are the rules?
But the Champions Tour, you can't have a cart, right?
Correct.
I don't see and I haven't looked into it, so maybe there's an obvious reason. I don't see a reason why if you can have a cart on the Champions Tour when you're 50 and over, if you're 50 and over playing in a major, why can't you have a cart?
That's what I think. And I think Tiger's angle on this is that John Daly's just like a fat, out of shape.
And he's probably right.
Yeah, he is right. Yeah.
He is right. Like, I'm
For
sure
sure.
that's half the reason he's injured.
Yeah.
Dude, he smokes cigs and fucking gets hammered on the course. It's tight.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Not the cigs, no cigs.
No
shit out of here.
Daly suffers from arthritis in his right knee and requested the car over medical issues.
And I think that's the type of thing, like the type of reason why they give the Champions Tour guys carts.
Yes.
Is like once you get older, you got all this, and yet he might be suffering from certain things because of bad choices he's made, blah blah. But that's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
And I don't have a problem with it if they're allowed to do it.
That's what I mean.
He got granted. It's not like It's not like he's
he got an exemption for that.
Exactly. He's not out there like bitching and moaning and trying to start a petition of why he didn't get a cart. Like, he got given it.
Yeah.
You know? So it clearly wasn't like some huge debate, you know what I mean? But that said, he's the first player since Casey Martin and whatever. It was a while ago, but I don't remember. I was younger, but Casey Martin had an amputated leg, I believe.
Yeah.
And
You should be running on that robot leg.
There were people bitching about. I remember specifically because me and my dad would always talk about it. There were people bitching about him getting a car.
There'll always be people.
And there will be 100%. But like, I just don't expect it from the golfers. You know, like I would feel like the athletes themselves would be the ones that would understand because you've gone through the injuries and you know what it is to do this.
There is always the angle, like, just to play devil's advocate, there is always the angle of like, okay, golf gets a lot of flack. Like, is it a sport? You don't have to be athletic, blah, blah, blah. I can get where Tiger is coming from if you come to the conclusion of just like, or you come from the perspective of, yo, you don't have to be LeBron James to play golf. Just keep yourself in good enough shape to walk the course.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. And plus, I think the media members knew that they'd get some kind of reaction like that out of him. Because just like you said, golf has like an image. And then when Tiger went on his crazy ass run, he was not that image. He's going nuts, screaming, fucking cursing and shit. Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I expect that answer from someone like him, where it's like, he's not like the typical golfer that would normally just be like, oh, I hope John gets well. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, like, why are you asking me about this? I've had a fucking broken leg and I walked on this fucking broken leg.
And it's part of the sport though, too. Like, walking is part of it.
And that's what I mean. Like, if it's the least you can do for a sport is walk.
Right. And I guess like we're not changing the rules for any like other sport based on your personal
and that's why like
disability.
I'm
or
way
whatever.
more
It's
okay with like
kinda
this guy that's got an amputated leg.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm way more okay with that.
That's an exception.
Right.
I don't know the specifics of John
especially
Daly, but
like,
we all know his lifestyle.
We have like the Champions Tour that is based on like natural ability and things like that for old men.
And if you want to go compete with the young guys, you gotta
walk.
I'm sure they're
see, that's why I definitely
100%
100% see both sides of it. And I even like the comment as much as I dislike it, but I tend to lean more towards disliking it just because of these things.
It's just unnecessary.
Right? I just think it's unnecessary.
Yeah, the comment's unnecessary.
But it is. It's real.
If he was like the guy competing with you and you had to walk the course, like literally this dude was number 2 in the world or something, and you had to walk the course and he didn't. Yes.
Yeah.
Talk your shit. I get it. Because that keeps the playing field a little unlevel. There's 152 guys in the tournament to start. I doubt he even makes the cut. Like, just fucking leave it alone. You know what I mean?
Might as well do our PGA picks right now.
Tiger.
I got John Daly.
Tiger.
That'd be sick.
Dude, I'm pretty sure when John Daly won the PGA, he was an alternate.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That's cool.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
You got Tiger. That's a good pick.
I'm taking Brooks.
Ricky.
Ooh.
Ricky.
I'll go.
Rose.
I'll go Mr. Tight Pockets.
Kuchar? Yeah. Wow.
Dang.
Tiger's getting sued too.
I heard.
Yeah, that's pretty random.
Is that really for $15,000? Somebody said that yesterday.
I heard
was
it
like,
is.
Seriously, it's not more than that.
I thought it was like a bunch of money. 15,000 he could probably just pull out of his
He'd
pocket.
be like, here, just let's get this
Literally.
story off the.
Yeah.
Kuchar be like,
We're fighting this.
5? Can I give you 5,000?
But it's one of those cases where apparently somebody that worked for him got overserved, and they supposedly knew that this person had a problem, like a drinking problem or whatever, and constantly overserved him, and they ended up getting in a wreck. Did they die?
I think so.
Yeah.
And so the family's suing or whatever, but I don't know.
You better step that tag up.
Yeah, I don't know this. I don't know the specifics, so I'm not gonna take some strong stance. But I feel icky when people go against like personal responsibility and certain things. Like, it's not the if I go to the bar around the corner and get fucked up and die on my way home, it's not the bar's fault.
Right.
Know?
Not
Even
to
if you're a
mention,
regular.
dude.
Yeah.
Like
You knew he comes
you
here.
can be absolutely shit can and hold yourself together enough for that bartender not to have to study you to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting overserved, and then you decide to go drive your dumb ass home.
Yeah, miss me on bartenders like turning me down if I want to drink.
Right.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not driving.
No.
Yeah, $15,000. Wow.
That's not even worth it.
Tiger better just pay
The
up
lawyer
and get that
fees
off.
are like way more than that.
right.
It says more than $15,000.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Bro, take this Buick and
Does that mean 3 million?
Take this.
That's literally what the
used
article
Buick.
says.
That's not even
They
a
gave
new
it to
one,
me.
bro.
15,000.
That's like a 100,000-mile pre-owned Buick.
68 cents.
So in the thread, Q sent something about the new Heinz flavor.
Bro.
Yuck.
Is it based on your mood?
I hope not. I hope no one's in these.
Yeah, I think it is. It's the baked mood all the time because that shit is.
Say what it is, and then I got.
So, bro, these are all.
hot take.
And I don't even know the fucking names, but
Your
these
BH
are
is gonna
all
have a
the
hot take after you.
These are all shits that people have been doing forever. Same
Right.
with like how Sprite just came out with the joint with the lemonade. People have been doing that shit forever, but they found a way to capitalize on
called
it.
a spritzer.
It's called a spritz.
Give me a little
lemonade. A spritz. Nah, so this shit is like ketchup and fucking mayo, what we call the special sauce back
A
in the day.
classic.
Yo, since the beginning of time, I think Cade
And
put
good.
that
I
on
co-sign that
fucking
one.
Buffalo. I don't even know though. You got them joints pulled up?
It's mayo and barbecue sauce.
What do they call it?
Hot take.
Mayo Q.
Mayo Q. Hey.
Barbecue sauce sucks.
New track dropping.
The white version of you.
Exactly. Yeah, I should have never fly.
Mayo is delicious. Barbecue
Oh,
sauce
stop.
is terrible.
Barbecue
Whoa!
sauce.
I
is-
wish they
barbecue
would've-
sauce is way overrated.
Way overrated.
Bro, y'all some mayo motherfuckers.
Maybe
dog.
probably the most. If you just ask me,
Oh,
Besides ketchup.
spitballing, what's the most overrated?
This was a
Ketchup
poll?
is up there too.
Ketchup's
y'all
high.
sound
Barbecue
high.
sauce.
They also have mayo must.
That's a horrible name.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like mustard.
So is, I guess
Exactly.
mayo Q is okay, but mayo must is terrible.
horrible.
Should be mayo turd.
and mayo chip.
You must I have
chop.
mayo?
And you
Is
know
this
what?
like a
dude,
competition
they
or
have
something?
another one, and this sounds gross to me. Have you guys ever Cranch? Ketchup
Yeah.
and ranch.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
It is
That
good.
sounds gross to me.
I
Bro,
like-
Bosco sticks in high school. We do with ranch and
that's real.
marinara, but
Yeah. But marinara's
so fire.
marinara
Yeah,
is way
I eat
different
that
than
right
ketchup,
now.
though.
Huh?
Marinara is way different
Yeah.
than ketchup.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato-y,
I like-
but not as
yeah.
like
Subbing
sweet.
everything with the ranch or the mayo with hot sauce, and I'm eating it.
Bro, I will never forgive these barbecue comments.
Dude,
Barbecue
overrated.
sauce sucks.
Y'all dumb.
Boom.
God, y'all dumb.
Honestly, like,
Damn, son.
if you're getting wings, like, and you can have buffalo,
Yo.
why would you ever get barbecue?
Buffalo is
Barbecue.
the most overrated.
Oh,
Easy.
no!
Easy money. That shit's just like hot. Man, keep that helmets, y'all. Keep that fucking helmets. I don't want that shit.
Oh, no.
Yo, I will get barbecue wings over
Buffalo
buffalo
sauce makes my
every
mouth
day.
water just sitting here.
Buffalo
thinking
makes my
about
I'm about to go get a
butthole
buffalo chicken
water.
wrap
Right,
right, after
now.
this.
Yeah, I'm
Nah.
going with you. Where are you going?
Bro, get you a barbecue chicken pizza.
Oh, pizza! What? That's another one of my pet peeves is people that gotta fuck up a classic like a hot pie, dude.
Agreed.
Bro, how boring do you want this life
Oh,
to be,
my
man? What are you
goodness.
talking about, bro?
Super boring.
Super clearly.
Oh.
Black coffee.
Hell yeah.
I drive the speed limit. Don't stare.
Don't.
Black coffee's banging.
How are you driving around now?
Damn, son.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, y'all smoke. Shit. Get off the Reggie.
You probably Moe-T, go to my screen. Q, you probably agree with this shit too.
Oh Jesus, hell no. Nah.
Career, will he be as good as LeBron James is right now?
Nope.
Right now?
As good as at what point will Ben
Never.
Simmons at any point in his career be as good as LeBron James is currently?
As he enters year 17? He already is. Go ahead.
This motherfucker gets paid to talk about sports.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see
And
my
to be
tweet
different.
today?
Yeah. I had a response written.
I was,
Oh, about Stephen A.
yeah.
Bro, were you talking about
Say,
Molly?
say what you said.
Yeah.
For the, say
Okay,
what you said for
say
the
it.
listeners.
I said, could you imagine starting off every day as the girl that sits in between Stephen A. Smith yelling nonsense in your ear and just fucking up your chi as soon as you wake up every single day?
And my response was going to be, although I agree with you 100%, I was wondering the same about them.
Yes.
Because Molly
She's
is annoying as
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch the show. I've
I
literally
don't-
never
yo,
watched it, but it was on in the background
I
when I was eating
boycotted
lunch
that
today.
shit. Fuck
And
that
I was
show.
like, oh my fucking God, this dude is just screaming
Bro,
for no reason.
And that shit just got him paid.
No one's even fucking arguing with this dude, and he's just like,
Yeah, especially
and the girl's
some
just
Nick
sitting
shit.
there, and then it cuts to her, and she's like, "When we come back," blah. I was like, "How can you not?"
Usually
she's like,
"Shut
the
no, wait." Like,
well, I've never watched, so
Shut
that's
up, bro.
good to know.
You ain't missing shit. Watch fucking Undisputed.
I will never.
Fuck
I will
first take.
not
Some of those guys
watch either of those.
I think they've just gotten so comfortable in their positions debating that they don't even care about debating sometimes. Like, I was watching some of First Take today, and I think the question was like, can the Warriors win the ship without KD? And Stephen A., his like 2-minute spiel, he basically just talked about, he said, no, they can't. And he just talked about how good KD is.
He can pull up from.
That's not, but can they win without him?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's the question. And they literally have before.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
And he literally says stuff like, it is a factual thing that they can, bro, these motherfuckers, I think that's one thing that I don't, because I like the debate shows more than like you do. One thing I don't like about it is the more absurd things you say, the better your ratings are.
Exactly, bro.
And
That's
don't
why I
like
was talking
that.
about him when I said that. I heard Charlamagne said that he's become a character of himself.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you think Stephen A. Smith, and then you're like, okay, this is how he's gonna be. He's gonna be rah rah, because that's what people expect. So even if you don't believe the shit, it's like, I'm gonna go off because that's what it is. I mean, and it got him paid. Like that's what people expect.
Another thing
That's
Stephen
what's
A. does
annoying.
when he debates is like, he'll be talking about a team and hyping them up, and he'll just like read off their roster. Like, but he'll say it in a way that like, these guys are good.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they were talking about who's more valuable to their team, Giannis or Kawhi. And he's like, I think he was saying Kawhi is because if you take Giannis off, they got Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, Brooke Lopez, blah, blah. And he was naming all the way down to like Mirotic and like whatever. It's like, you could do the same thing with the Raptors. Just read the names.
He's like, you got the Chris
Gasol,
Middletons
Lowry.
of the world.
But he
You
was
got the
fucking
Lynx of the
screaming.
world.
Yeah. It's like, you're not telling me anything. You're just like naming names on the team, bro.
God,
With emphasis.
Yeah, with emphasis. That's why he's good.
You got the Matt Dudas of the world.
Right. Straight up.
Bro, he lost me years ago.
Yeah. I don't mind him like you guys do, but I hear what you're saying.
Nah, I used to fuck with him heavy. I really did, but nah. I see the game. Think it's a game?
Last episode of Thrones this weekend, Moe-T.
And that's episode 65. See you next week. Peeps.
literally can't wait for this to be over.
Got any big expectations?
No, I don't.
Were you I think the last episode was the most like controversial of did people like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
I was just kind of about it.
All right, that's been episode 65
Tight. See you next
of the
week.
Spectators podcast. We will see you back for 6-6.
Oh.
Tight.